The Bank of Spain released their monetary projections earlier this week, talking about this incredible moment in the sun that Spain has had and the Spanish economy has had. How long do you think that can last?
Well, that's not easy to respond. It's certainly behind this, let's say, bright outlook in terms of growth. There are structural factors, or at least I would say a number of elements in the configuration of the European post-COVID economy that help us. But at the same time, it might be elements that are genuinely transitory. I mean, disentangle what is permanent and transitory might prove very difficult. But for instance, there has been a shift in consumer preference in Europe towards leisure after COVID that certainly benefits most countries like Spain that produce more services of that kind, like tourism. And it's also true that non-tourist services are also performing very well in Spain, and this might result of the ability to work now more remotely than in the past, and we are an attractive country for settlement, and that's helping to produce services from Spain to third countries. But even in manufacturing, things are doing better, certainly better than in the rest of Europe, because of, on the one hand, the fact that we are able to produce electricity with cheaper than our neighbors, even 30% cheaper than other large European economies at present, and at the same time, from a more geopolitical perspective in making decisions about where locating factories and other business investments. I mean, I would say that now there is being in the south and being very much in the west of Europe is preferable. All these elements are supporting us. Together, I would say, with policies on digitalization, on climate change, or on migration that are supportive.
You make a really key point, which is that the Spanish economy isn't just really enjoying a lot of the tourism benefits, but really a structural shift from, I would even go further than COVID, but even going back to the financial crisis, the repositioning of the Spanish economy is historic, truly. You've seen that reflected in the bond markets, where credit spreads from Spanish debt relative to German debt have shrunk. Everybody wants a piece of Spanish debt all of a sudden. The criticism of that, however, is the minute that the political situation in France or Germany or Italy or other parts of Europe starts to get better, suddenly that optimism around Spain, the relative optimism, is eliminated. This is something that you talked about in your monetary projections as well. If there is a key risk in terms of that sustainability of outperformance, what is that?
Well, housing is a problem because Spain is benefiting. I mean, overall in Europe there are shortages of labor, particularly of skilled workers. We are competing for this kind of workers globally, and for that, but also low skilled workers. In general, we need to reinforce our labor forces in European countries. Our migration policies are, let's say, conducive to be more attractive for that than other European countries. But of course, housing is becoming a constraint over time, not only from a social dimension, but also from the labor market perspective. And we expect, according to our estimates, that in the years to come, the deficit between the creation of homes or the need for houses for foreigners is going to increase a much faster pace than the production of houses. So in a way, here there is a bottleneck. This is one of the areas in which I think there is a need to work more. But I would say more in generally, we need to enhance the institutional framework, a badly needed reform on on the public administrations in general is needed. Still, there is room to catch up there with the best performance in Europe. And probably on fiscal policy, we need to remain prudent. We need to ensure that there is a long-term planning, and this is very well. This is always requested from investors, that not only your figures in the short run are decent in terms of public finances, but at the same time you have really a medium long-term view in terms of fiscal sustainability.